Hi, everybody. How's it going? Oh, I have to turn this background music. Oh no, did the background music break? Oh,
It's too spooky.
no, it's just spooky enough. Dag nabbit. Oh, hi, everybody. Hope you're having a very spooky and fun October.
Yeah, everyone, you gotta get in the spooky vibes.
Don't be
We're surrounded by
scared.
pumpkins right now.
We are, aren't they cute?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually really love this image.
Yeah, M. Lim picked them out. She's not here with us physically, but she's here in spirit and in the chat. So everyone say hi to M.
Yeah, we gotta get everyone talking in the chat about what they're gonna dress up for as Halloween. I see somebody saying
Ooh,
they're gonna dress up as a rock.
a
That's pretty hype.
ghostly rock. I love it. Yeah, if anyone can hear my fan, let me know.
Hmm.
I think you're good.
We were all talking about the spooky season before we went live here. Um, John, you said it made you sad, which I get.
Summer rules. Yeah,
Yeah, summer's so fun.
yeah.
It's time. It's time for a change.
That time, yeah. Fall's fine. It's mostly like February, like it's kind of grim, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
Games put out
February is kind of
events.
depressing.
It gets cozy. We get to play more games inside. Get away from the cold.
it's true.
It's
You
good
don't have to feel
vibes.
guilty about staying in all day.
Yeah, that is true.
Pros and cons for both. The grass is always greener on the other side until it starts to turn brown because it's becoming winter. Anyway, I'm stalling at this point to let more people come in, but I think now's a good time for us to introduce ourselves. I think we can go down in a line here. Sam, why don't you start?
Hey, I'm first. Hi, my name's Sam. I am our company's live ops producer. And what that means is right now I'm currently managing our event coming out. So you guys probably saw the new event banner in the game, Cryptid event, spoiler. So I've been helping us work on that event and then working on the events that we've been trying to produce for the future. And then previously I've done stuff like working on the leaderboards that we added to the event and kind of all the stuff relating to the events. That's kind of what I do.
Great, we're happy to have you on the show with us. John?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yay!
Hey guys, my name is John. I am the main game director of the game. So basically, what that means is I'm focusing primarily on the primary simulation as well as the beyond. Um, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about the most recent release that we did, episode 26, and some of the plans that we have for the upcoming episodes in the beyond as well.
Very cool. I can't wait to show everyone who's here with us today more about the Beyond because some really cool stuff is planned. And happy to have you on the show with us as well.
Yep, excited.
Yay! And hi, everybody. If you've seen shows or live streams produced by us before, I'm Emily. I am the other Emily who is our social media manager and marketing artist. Other Emily is a director of marketing, and we do these live streams back and forth. We both do take turns with hosting. So this spooky time, it's my turn, and I'm happy to be here. So I can't wait to show everyone everything we have planned. We have a pretty jam-packed October this year, so why don't we just jump into it? I'm sure everyone wants to find out more. So we're going to be starting with Beyond E26 and showing a bit of a behind-the-scenes look with that. For anyone who has been requesting black holes, I hope you really enjoyed this update that we had. It was very, very fun. And also really beautiful in the garden. I know John has some extra special stuff to show us. So whenever you're ready, John, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I guess as Emily mentioned, the focus of this episode is really on kind of what lies at the center of the Milky Way and kind of talking about black holes. We were definitely excited for the content because obviously black holes are just very cool. We've been learning a lot about them in the last few years, so there was definitely tons of great content for us to kind of mine for this episode. But before that, I do want to talk a little bit about the path that got us here. So I guess if you could switch over to my screen.
Let's do it.
Um, I do want to give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the scenes at kind of what our process looks like. So I believe Scott, who was actually leading the Beyond, might have given you a little bit of a glimpse at this a few months back. But I do want to do a quick recap, just to give you a little bit of context about how we kind of got to this point. So way back when we started the second phase of the Beyond, we kind of started venturing out from the solar system and talking about the nearby stars. So here you can kind of see all the research that our team did to kind of figure out what our generator should be, what our writing should look like, what our upgrade should be, and so on. And then as part of that, what we tried to do is we tried setting or creating these narrative arcs. So Laurie, our writer for the Beyond, was really kind of the main person who was figuring out how we kind of wanted to shape this exploration of the universe into kind of like a narrative and into a story, and to kind of think about how Semblance might be thinking about our exploration of the universe. So the first narrative arc was basically kind of venturing out into the stars from the solar system, and we had all these kind of interesting stars that we encountered kind of in our local interstellar neighborhood. And then from there, we basically started talking about planets, which is a very exciting field right now in, I guess, astronomy. So, we're finding new planets all the time. We have all these new capabilities. So we did kind of want to talk about that. Um, and then we kind of shifted the topic more towards kind of potential future um, Earth-like planets, basically. So, which is an exciting field as well. And then from there, we kind of moved out even further to talk about the formation of stars, nebulas, which were really exciting.
Yeah,
We developed a lot
that
of,
oh, sorry to interrupt. That update in particular was very cool. I remember it being a huge deal that we were making an attempt at bringing the nebulas to life in 3D, and we've succeeded. It's so cool.
yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun kind of seeing the art come together. I guess for those of you who know kind of about how games work under the hood, we have these particle systems that we just had to really spend a lot of time on perfecting to kind of get the look right and to kind of stay true to the reference images that we gathered. But I think it came out really well. Um, Major kudos to Scott and Ryan and Steph and all the other folks on the team who contributed to figuring all that stuff out. And then we kind of talked about the aftermath of supernovae. Um, and then eventually we kind of got to this third narrative arc, which is focused on the Milky Way. So this is, I think, this gets us to around episode 25. So we kind of showed you the different arms of the Milky Way unlocking, and kind of some of the major structures of the Milky Way. And then finally we get to episode 26. So this is pretty much where we shifted our focus from the different parts of the outer Milky Way and really kind of started zooming in on what kind of lies at the heart of the Milky Way. So we wanted to focus on what's in the galactic nucleus, and then we wanted to kind of showcase Sagittarius A star, which was actually really exciting because it's something that we just photographed, or scientists just photographed for the first time, I think like a year or two ago. So this kind of iconic image here was the first ever image of a black hole. So
So
it's definitely,
cool.
yeah,
That's
the
crazy.
timing actually worked out very well, because that kind of coincided with around the time that we started working on this content. So um, yeah, so let me actually shift gears and I'll talk a little bit about what all this kind of looks like in the game. So if you remember early in the Beyond, we basically started in the solar system and we've built out all of this content as we zoom out from our stellar neighborhood into kind of interstellar space. And then finally, we reach the Milky Way galaxy. So in episode 25, you kind of saw the arms of the galaxy kind of unlocking. A lot of work kind of went in to not only making this look accurate, but also making it perform well. So we basically need to squeeze the entire observable universe into, your phone, in some cases, older phones. So that definitely was no small task. And we've spent a lot of time kind of optimizing things under the hood, so that it doesn't get too slow, basically. But yeah, so as part of this release, I wanted to zoom in. So um, we basically start out outside of the Milky Way, and then we added this new generator called the galactic nucleus. So if you zoom in, to the galactic bulge, you see the galactic nucleus show up here. Actually, let me switch gears and I'll show you what it looks like on the tree. That makes more sense. Um, so yeah, basically we have kind of like this spiral shape in the tree. So in episode 25, you kind of unlocked these outer nodes here. And then for episode 26, we kind of started zooming in to the galactic nucleus, Sagittarius A star, and eventually the event horizon. Um, so what that looks like in the garden, basically you can kind of zoom into the galactic bulge and then select the galactic nucleus. And then from here, you can select Sagittarius A star, which is the supermassive black hole that lives basically in the heart of the galactic nucleus. Um, and figuring out how we wanted to represent this in the game was definitely a challenge. We we were looking at a lot of really cool references. You guys might have seen movies like Interstellar, where they have this really um, cool distortion happening along the edge of the black hole, and we kind of wanted to capture that feel, but we were also kind of constrained by the fact that um, we're not making a movie, we're making a game that needs to run on these tiny phones. So we did spend a lot of time trying to strike that right balance between capturing the look and getting it to run basically on your devices.
Well, I think it's
I think
beautiful.
we actually,
When I
yeah.
first saw it, I was like, whoa, it really does feel like it belongs in a movie. It was really fun getting to capture all these photos for it for the branding. Uh, I think, all things considered, you did great. Everyone
Yeah,
who's
I
on
mean,
the Beyond team did great,
yeah, I can't take too much credit for it, but definitely, everyone working on the team came together to
for sure.
pull it off. Um, yep, and then from here, you can kind of zoom in even closer to the edge of the event horizon, which I thought was really cool as well. So you can kind of unlock this in the form of an astronomy mission. So this was actually kind of even figuring out the navigation on this was a challenge. So we hadn't really done this kind of deep, sort of nested content before. So there was definitely some stuff that we needed to figure out there. But I do think it came together pretty well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Um, let's see. So
Yeah, let
apart
us know your feedback in the comments if you've been playing E26. And if you haven't, sorry for spoiling.
from,
But we hope you're excited to play it. And also, I
yeah,
noticed a lot of people are asking all different types of questions in the comments. Thank you for showing your interest in the game and letting us know what's on your mind. We are going to have two Q&As in the show today after we show two different codes, so stay tuned for that. But if anyone has any questions about E26, we're happy to answer them. But yeah, it's looking great.
yep, yeah. If you guys are worried about spoilers, definitely cover your ears for the next few minutes because I'm going to be giving you guys a sneak peek even deeper into the game. So just you've been warned if it's not something that you want to see just yet. Um, but yeah, as far as the episode 26 goes, the release went out. It does seem like you guys are enjoying it, but I did want to mention one other challenge that we're constantly kind of working to figure out is the tuning for the game. And because this content is so deep in the game, we have players that are kind of all over the map. So some players have tons of cards. They've been running tons of astronomy missions and getting really powerful, whereas other players basically um, have much fewer cards and have much fewer generators. So figuring out how to tune the game to kind of work for both sides has been a bit of a challenge. So after the release, it sounded like it was actually quite fast for some of our super fans. I would imagine many of the players that are here watching right now are, pretty dedicated to the game. So I think a lot of you might have gone through the content much faster than we probably wanted. So we're actually kind of in the process of doing a bit of a tuning adjustment for the game to hopefully make it a little bit more challenging. So if you've already kind of gotten through the content, this won't affect you. But if you haven't reached episode 26 yet, the tuning will be changing slightly in the next release. So something to keep in mind, and that's something that we're always kind of working to improve. So for all future releases as well, we're going to be thinking about how we can kind of improve our process to make it tune just right for you guys to have enough of a challenge, but also not feel bored, basically. Um, cool. So I guess if there aren't, I mean, how do you want to do this, Emily? Do you want to stop for questions at the end, or do you want to take a break?
If there's one that I think is related to what we're talking about for now and it flows with the show, we can answer it. But all in all, we're trying to keep Q&A questions or during the Q&A session. So if anyone has any beyond questions, especially about tuning, or if you had feedback, let us know and we might address it while we're sharing more inside looks into the beyond. But for now, I think John's going to show us some spoilers. So as he said, if you don't want to see this, you might want to take a quick popcorn break or a water break and dive back in like 5 minutes.
Yes, avert your eyes because we're going almost to the end. I won't reveal everything, but we're definitely going to get a peek into what is yet to come. So I guess I'll start with the Miro. So the next episode is basically kind of zooming even out of the Milky Way. So now that we've kind of talked about, the outer parts of the Milky Way and kind of the core, we're zooming out even further to talk about some of our galactic neighbors. So things like the Triangulum Galaxy, Andromeda Galaxy. And there's kind of a really interesting story here about kind of how they're all gravitationally interacting with each other. So we do want to talk about what that might look like in the far future as they kind of get pulled closer together. Um, Spoiler, we basically expect that there's going to be a collision, way, way down in the future, and they're actually going to merge, which is interesting. And we actually took a crack at kind of showing what that might look like in the game. And then after that, we're kind of at the next narrative arc, which is really about kind of what's beyond the Milky Way. So we talk about things like superclusters. So the Milky Way is a part of the Virgo supercluster, which is basically a huge collection of galaxies. So we start exploring some of the really huge structures there, as well as quasars and things like that, which are very cool if you haven't seen much of them before. And then from there, we're going to be moving on to talking about Laniakia. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
And
I think
Void.
so.
Yeah. Um, so there's tons of really cool stuff there. As you can see, like it looks super cool in the references that we have. So we're still kind of figuring out exactly how that's going to work under the hood to represent these ideas visually. So that's still something that's kind of uh, that we're working on our end, basically. And then lastly, I'm not going to show you all of it, but the final narrative arc that we have is basically talking about the universe as a whole. So some of our beta players might have gotten a peek into what this looks like, but that's kind of the direction that we're working towards. Pretty much the limits of what we can actually observe about the universe. So just to give you a sneak peek of what that looks like, we've actually built out a lot of the tree. We've been starting to test this stuff in beta. So all of this is actually playable. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we have a small team and we wanted to kind of get ahead of our release schedule so that we can focus on improving other parts of the game as well, while giving you content releases. So we tried to get a pretty good cushion on the Beyond and then switch our focus to, for example, improving the main game, and then slowly kind of release this Beyond content for players. So we're going to be switching back and forth between the Beyond and the main game, but we're so small that we can't actually do both at once. So we try to build a little bit of a buffer so that we can get ahead of the schedule, um, and just kind of do like a timed release.
Yeah, exactly. And also, since Civilization is wrapped up for now. Oh, I just realized your window is a little. There we go. That's a better view. My apologies. Um, Also, because the ancient civilization garden is wrapped up, we are pretty much focusing on Beyond and main game and events right now. Um, we released a dev diary back in September showing our roadmap. So if you're curious about what the rest of our year is looking like so far, that's a good place to find out.
Yep. So let's see. Yeah, I guess just zooming outside of the Milky Way, like we talked about, we kind of wanted to talk about uh, the Milky Way's neighbors. So we have Andromeda here. The art team did a really great job of trying to make the galaxies kind of feel distinct. So you would think that, a collection of stars would basically always look more or less the same, but we put a lot of work into trying to make, for example, Triangulum feel very different from um, the Milky Way, and make that feel different from, let's see, Andromeda, for example. So
I'm
we
so
gathered a lot of
happy that.
reference. And, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt again.
okay.
I'm so happy that Andromeda is making an appearance in the game. I feel like I've waited for this moment.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming. I mean, we've been working on the Beyond for years now, so it's definitely nice to see kind of how far it's come. And then, like I mentioned before, we did want to take a crack at what it might look like for the Milky Way and for the collisions basically to happen between galaxies in the far future. So that's an interesting piece of content that you'll be able to unlock as well. All right,
uh,
so
we do have one question of if there are going to be any hidden achievements in the Beyond. Um, if we shared that now, it wouldn't really be a hidden achievement, would it?
True.
yeah, there will be more for sure. Yeah, our plan is to kind of continue polishing while we work on other things as well for the next few months. Um, the the later Beyond content honestly probably won't be released until sometime next year. So we definitely plan on kind of adding a lot of polish basically before it reaches players. Cool. And yeah, so you can continue zooming out. Eventually, you'll be able to zoom all the way out to view the edge of the observable universe. But I guess I'll stop it there in the interest of not giving too much away just yet.
It's looking very cool.
Thanks. Yep. Yeah, definitely excited to close this chapter out. There's a lot of other stuff that we want to improve in the game. So it's uh, I think it'll be fun once we're kind of freed up to actually um, refocus on other parts of the game that might have been neglected for a while. So being able to kind of complete these chapters frees us up to do just that. So definitely lots
Exactly.
of exciting stuff to come.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing this, John. This is super cool, and I'm glad we finally got to share it with some of our players. I know I see some comments on our social media posts asking what's in Beyond E27, like what are all the other Beyond chapters about. So I'm excited to tell them go watch the latest live stream now, because yeah, this is really exciting content, and I'm glad that it's being showed in the game.
Yep.
All right. Well, for all of our Beyond fans, we hope that you enjoyed this segment. We're going to be moving on to our first Darwinium code of the show. Oh, yeah. All right. Can anyone guess what our first code is going to be? I like to do a guessing game.
I don't even remember what the code is.
Well, you're about to remember right now. It's black hole related. Andromeda's a good one. Oh, we should do Andromeda sometime. Maybe that'll be the next code. Dark Heart's also a good one. Oh, ding, 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 we got it. Event Horizon. Good job.
That was a good guess. I would not have guessed that, so props to you.
Seriously, that was a good one. And that's for 15 cubes. There's going to be another code towards the end of the show, and that one is also going to be for 15 cubes, so stick around for it. And while people filter in, some people come and go during the show, which is awesome. While we're waiting for anyone who might be coming in, we're going to be doing a Q&A, and you can grab that code whenever you want. So some people were asking about the Beyond. There were a couple other questions about events, I think, earlier. So if you have a question and we didn't answer it, now's a good time to ask.
Yeah, re-ask those questions. We're gonna have to scroll all the way up.
I know. No, please don't make us scroll up, chat. If you could copy and paste, that'd be amazing for our eyes. Oh, is anyone on YouTube right now? Oh.
I'm looking at YouTube right now.
Oh, bless your soul, Sam.
Somebody asked about the dodos. We'll get that information in a little bit. So
we are going to be talking about
seated.
Dodos.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Somebody asked. Hold on. Somebody said they want a feature where you can restart from episode 1 of Beyond. It seems that'd be exciting. I feel that way sometimes playing other parts of the game.
We talked about it, Prestige for the Beyond. Maybe we did it obviously for the Mesozoic. There are pros and cons to it, but I don't think we'll try something like that until it's actually worth the effort. We don't want to make you guys grind for nothing.
Mr. Mushi on Twitch, if you have any questions about contests, if anyone has any questions about contests, this is a good stream to ask them on, because I am usually the one who manages the contests and creates them. So, yeah, you'll be hearing it from the horse's mouth with me. So, I encourage any contest questions for this stream.
We got another question on YouTube by Marco. Said, I wondered if there are more constellations incoming. It's a good question. Or, yeah, I guess you'll have to wait and see, but there's probably a good chance that that's going to happen.
We always want to add more constellations.
There's a lot of empty space on that screen. Not sure.
Exactly. Is there ever a possibility that the game will ever come to consoles? We tried years ago to make that happen, and it's harder than we thought it would be. It's not a priority for us right now. It would be cool, but yeah, it's not on our docket for current development.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some event questions in YouTube. We're going to be talking events a little bit, so I don't want to answer too many questions about them. Some people are asking, will there be more exploration events? I mean, definitely the case, so keep an eye out.
That is a good question.
Oh, this is a pretty easy question. They said, will the events come back so I can get other badges I didn't get? Events will always rerun. So if you didn't finish an event, it will always come back around so you can play it again. So don't be concerned that you will never be able to get the badge again.
Yeah, well, if you're curious about a specific event, keep an eye on the calendar in the game. I think it tells when the next 3 or 4 events are coming, and we also have a calendar on our social media channels showing which events are planned for the month, though sometimes that changes.
Yeah, Sammy, I feel like you guys are making them so fast, like they're getting further and further apart because we have so many events now to play on repeat.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation that we will have eventually. So keep your guys' eyes out.
That was the goal when we started making events, though. We were like, we have to make more. It's boring that it's just filtering between web and fungus right now.
Yeah, now there's a pretty big backlog. But yeah, it's important for you guys, if you don't follow us on socials, to look there for the calendar, because like Emily said, we have a lot bigger calendar that we show on socials than in the game, since it's only 3 events after. You only see 4 events calendar wise in the game.
We have someone asking if there's going to be any future additions to the Reality Engine nodes. Also a good question.
That is a very good question.
I'm not the person to ask because I don't touch that.
Well, what was the question? If there's going to be new nodes in the Reality Engine?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
there's going to be any additions.
Oh, that's a great question. Funny you should ask. It is something that we are thinking about. Like I said, I think the main game team is trying to shift its focus from the Beyond, now that we're a little bit ahead of the schedule, to making improvements in the main game. So there's definitely lots of room for improvement there, but we're still figuring out exactly what those changes are going to look like. So definitely keep an eye out because we'll be updating you guys here. Hopefully relatively soon.
Nice. If you are missing contests, we post them in our news posts on in the game. So if you're active in the game, that's really the best place, I think, currently to find out about contests if you don't really hang out on our social media channels. There's going to be like a little red dot on the calendar button to the left-hand side if you haven't clicked on it, and you'll be able to tell which news posts you haven't opened yet. And there's going to be a news post about contests that link to the official contest page. So keep an eye out for news posts. That's my recommendation.
All right. SLS Rookie asked, what is your favorite research node in the primary sim and why for each of us?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I can go first. I think the plastic node has like a rubber ducky icon currently in the main simulation, and I only know this because we have a Logit Store profile pack that has the rubber ducky, and I was like, where is this in the game? Why is there a rubber duck node? And then I looked and I found it, and I was like, that's a great node. So I think that's my favorite.
I have a friend who refuses to buy the plastic node on the tree because she's very eco-friendly, and she's like, how could you guys put plastic in the game?
It's fair.
I think related to that, if I had to pick, I think my favorite node would be the moon, because I think it's hilarious that players will basically do no moon runs. You can basically beat the entire game up to the singularity without purchasing the moon, which I thought was pretty funny early on.
That's a good one.
I had no idea you could do that. It's funny.
I think my favorite node is the video game node because it's just so meta.
That's pretty funny. I actually don't even remember that node being there.
It might be the game engine node. I forget. It might not be video game. It might be game engine. But I remember the description as like, this game was built with one. So I think it was game engine.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Some might say that there are too many.
Nonsense. Never.
I do think we kind of give away a lot of nodes like early on. So we are thinking about how to kind of, manage that a little bit better so that it's a little bit more spaced out. But yeah, because at least the way that I play, like I don't even get to appreciate all the nodes because I'm just kind of zooming through everything and just like buying where I can. But I do kind of wish players would have more time to slow down and smell the roses and take their time as they play. So
yeah, we put a lot of thought and effort into all of the nodes and the tooltips, so they're definitely worth stopping and savoring.
Yeah, and shout out to the art and the writing teams because they definitely do. Oh, they really do put a lot of thought into like the tooltips and like the icons that we do. So it's easy to miss, but that stuff is there's tons of great content there for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, I think everyone here, you're really gonna like this next event that we're gonna be talking about. Olga worked really hard on the icons.
Yes. Do we have any? Are we done with questions? There's so many good questions going
think,
on. It's like overwhelming because they're all so good.
I know these are some great questions, guys, but I think we're gonna have to save some of them for the next Q&A because I'm gonna do a quick plug for anyone who hasn't already submitted their entries to our Ode to a Black Hole contest. This went live last week, or wait, earlier this week? I don't understand the concept of time right now, but it's live right now. Mlim or Aditya will put the link for the official contest page in the description for you guys, so you can click on it. We had some questions about contests before. I know this isn't an art contest, but it is a poetry contest, which is another form of art, so it could still be fun. It went live earlier this week, yes, now I remember, at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you have until November 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern to submit your poems. We're specifically looking for irregular odes. An ode is a tribute to something, so you already have your subject, it's a black hole, and we have a list of rules for everyone to follow on the contest page. It's usually our standard rules of please don't submit more than one, submit them only through one platform that we have provided for you, and please don't submit them past the deadline. We would also appreciate it if you kept your entries PG-13. Would really love that. And also, we have some great prizes slated for you guys. If anyone doesn't know what an ode is, I learned not many people know what odes are. If you don't know what it is, it's basically like a rhyming poem. We picked irregular odes because there are two other kinds of odes that are a little harder to follow along with, and they're harder to write for. Irregular, you can kind of just have some fun with it, but just make sure it rhymes and it feels kind of musical, and you should be good to go. So if you've listened to like a song lyrics, that's kind of an ode.
I had no clue what an ode was until recently, and I have never written an ode, so props to everyone who submits an ode.
The more you know.
Yeah, impressive.
For sure. I kind of knew what an ode was. Like, I knew it was a tribute, but I didn't know it specifically rhymed and had to have like certain meters for it. At least that's Pindaric. Like, I'm not gonna go on odes right now. I did too much research about them. I've seen enough odes for a hot minute until I'll see them again when we get some entries.
We've done like most of the types of poems, right? We did like haiku, did limericks. Is there anything we haven't done yet? Like,
yeah, those are the big two. We've done haikus and limericks. I think there was another type of poem contest we've done, but I thought it would be fun to try something new. And since we have a lot of fans of black holes here, I thought it'd be fun to write an ode about a black hole. Odes are kind of hard to write because you have to get the rhyming scheme just right. But it's also pretty fun. So once you warm up and you get into the rhythm of it, odes are pretty enjoyable.
Slam poetry.
Yeah, slam poetry night. That would be fun. That's a good idea. I'm going to save that in the back of my brain. Thank you. A dinosaur rap battle? Andrew would love that one. These are some good ideas, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really like hearing what our players would like to do for contests, because in the end, we're doing it for you guys. All right.
On time. I think Sam's itching to show a little bit of the events.
Yeah, just real quick, I'm sorry. For anyone who's going to be submitting your entries to the ode contest, we have 6 possible chances to win prizes. It's going to be 300 Darwinium cubes and a 30-day Infinity Pass if you win our Discord mod choice, or any of these prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So if you enter, who knows, you might win up to 2,000 Darwinium and a 90-day Infinity Pass if you get 1st place. So that's my plug for the Ode to Black Hole contest. Please submit your odes. You never know. Okay, thank you. All right, it's getting spooky in the simulation. Thank you for your patience, Sam. MVP here. So, for anyone who doesn't know what our next event is going to be, it's actually a very extra special one, because not only was it an April Fool's joke 2 years ago for anyone who remembers this social post that we made about an appearance Bigfoot might have made in our simulation, it is also our first ever mini Explore event. So, Sam, I think you'll do a better job explaining what a mini Explore event is better than me, so I'm going to hand it off to you.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing quickly. So I've seen a couple people in our Discord and on our socials going like, is there a reason why we put out a rock event, which was a an April Fool's joke, and then we're doing a cryptid event, which is also an April Fool's joke? I'm sad to say there is no real reason why that happened. It just kind of worked out that way. I don't even
Yeah.
think we realized we were doing that until some fans actually said that. But I think they were kind of great ideas, and we didn't realize how good they were until we kind of came back and thought about some events we wanted to work on. So yeah, I just wanted to set that in stone, I
Yeah,
should
I
say.
appreciate that. It's definitely
Yeah,
how the cookie crumbled. I know we wanted to do a cryptid event of some kind. We just didn't know how it would look even before we did that April Fool's joke. And we were just kind of testing the waters to see how people even reacted to the idea of cryptids being in the game. So,
yeah, and yeah, just a little insight on the crypt event. So yeah, I think it was an April Fool's joke. I don't know the exact date when we put it out on socials, but ever since our writer Andrew T, who has been on the live stream, has been a part of our team. He's always wanted to do this event, and last year he really wanted to do it, and we didn't have time to do it. So this year we kind of had a chance to do it in this new format, which is the mini format, which I'll go over quickly. So we've had this thought for a while where we want to try kind of smaller format events. And what I mean by that is multiple things. So first of all, the no count is about half of what a normal event is, which means time to complete will be 2 days of active time. So not just 2 days, it would be like 2 days if you're constantly playing. So it might be a little bit longer than 2 days if you sleep like a normal person. Um, if you're a super fan, maybe you aren't sleeping. And props to you. Um, but yeah, so 2 days and one badge. So it's a special badge, and it's only one badge for the mini events. And then let me see if there's. I think that's it for what a mini event is. And also no garden. I know we've had a little bit of back and forth on if gardens are in the event or if they're not. This does not mean that the ocean event is a mini. The ocean event is a full event. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of what a mini event is, and we decided to try it out with this cryptid event, and because we were kind of deciding on what events we were going to do, and then we were like, oh, we'll do the rock event, and then we'll do this next event, and we were like, oh, we want to try minis. It's around Halloween time. Maybe we'll do a special mini for cryptids. So that's kind of where we landed and where the event is now. I don't know if anyone knows what a cryptid is or not. I've always kind of I feel like I've always known what a cryptid is. Um, Emily and John, I don't know if you guys have known what a cryptid is for a while or if you learned about it recently, but I know some people actually don't know what a cryptid is.
I've known about cryptozoology,
Right.
especially from another game that I've played before that I really like. So, yeah, I know that it's like creatures that have been claimed to be seen, but have not been proven to exist.
Yes, exactly. So,
I had no idea.
yeah, you had no
I
idea
heard
you
the
did
word,
until we
but
worked on this event. You didn't know, or I guess until the April Fools
I heard
post.
the word, but yeah.
Yeah, so it definitely might be a little confusing for some players, but if you know about cryptids, then I think you'll be excited about this. And yeah, let me get into the Miro a little bit, and then I'll kind of show the players the
Yeah,
event. So if you wanna
let's do that. Just real
show my
quick,
screen.
letting our players know that the
Right.
the runs for Explore Cryptids is going to be October 17th to the 21st. That'll be the first time you get to play it. And there will be another chance to play it for anyone who might have missed it, or if you want to snag the badge a second time, from October 28th through to the 31st. All right.
Yeah. And the badge will allow you to complete the event quicker, so you can kind of compete a little bit more aggressive in the leaderboard for the event the second time if you get it the first.
You'll have to change your
time.
screen scene, Sam.
Oh, that is not right. My bad. Hold on a second. Does this look good now? I don't know how that happened. Let me know if you can see this. I might be sharing my screen.
Technical difficulties, folks.
It did not change. All right, give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Screen was wrong. Okay, 1 second. All right, you should be good now.
We're
My
good.
bad.
Oh, very nice. We're good.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks.
No worries.
Yeah. So let me get into the Miro. It's a lot to go over here, but we can go over quick. Yeah, so we've had this idea for a while. I think Andrew T, our writer, was looking into it a little bit last year, and we kind of played around with some tree ideas. It says Chupacabra a lot. The event was not going to just be all Chupacabra, which is a type of cryptid.
Oh
Um,
man, I wanted an all Chupacabra event.
yeah, sorry for the Chupacabra fans out there. And then we have to do some research, obviously. So we were looking into Yeti, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra. Those are kind of the pretty big cryptids in the cryptozoology world. So Andrew was kind of doing some research on that, and then kind of created this first pass of this tree, which kind of dives more into like has some nodes that kind of lead into like what makes the Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra. But then we kind of decided we weren't going to do the event last year, and then we kind of did some more research and decided that might not be as exciting as maybe getting a lot more cryptids and kind of mythical creatures. So we did a lot more research on some creatures and cryptids that we wanted. Um, and did a lot of discussions on how we were going to create an organizing principle with the generators. So we kind of started off by doing like, I don't know, like ocean and land and air as like the organizing generators, and then we kind of played around with that. Um, and we kind of like picked and chose the cryptids based off of like what were the most exciting. And props to Andrew, he really tried to focus on getting cryptids and creatures from many different cultures and places around the world. So that was a big emphasis we put on this event, was making sure everyone felt included. And we actually had a couple conversations with Discord members on if they didn't feel like they were being represented in the event, to make sure that they were being represented. So uh, if you but when you play the event, you should see a creature that you know, is our hope. So yeah, we continue creating the event. We kept trying different generators. I don't want to spoil too much as I go through here. Let's see. We have some art up here that our artist does. Olga, we always have to think about the banner. Olga did an amazing job on this banner. I think it's probably my favorite banner that we've ever made. It has our classic little mini tag that we'll have for each mini that we're creating in the future. Um, and then yeah, Olga does some great work on the node art, so I don't want to spoil too much here, but this is a little sneak peek at the art grabbing process that she went through for the event. We'll look at some of that in the event shortly. And then here are a bunch of different like tree shapes that she was kind of working out, because this event was a little challenging with the tree shape due to the limited amount of nodes and only having 3 generators. So Olga did a really great job on kind of working that out and making it feel as good as it could in the event.
Definitely. I would love to see it in the game.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Ooh.
So here is the beginning of the event. And let's see. So you kind of start off with this campfire node. We wanted to put a big emphasis on darkness and kind of the scary, spooky feeling for the event. And I'd recommend playing with the your music on for a little bit, because I think the music sounds really good and spooky. You probably, in the beginning of this stream, the music we were using was actually the same music that's in the event. So I recommend playing with it for a little bit to get in the spooky feels. But yeah, so I'm going to tap, and you tap for torches, so you're kind of creating light. So I'm going to tap for some torches. I'm getting more than you normally would just for playing the event for the stream, because if I did it in the normal time, everyone would get tired of it. But so I just got the campfire. You'll see we had a special effect where the campfire has some fire coming out of it. I'm not going to read the tooltips, but the tooltips are amazing. So definitely read them as you're playing the event. And then the first generator I'm getting is the Insidious generator. So the kind of organizing principle that we ended up landing on for the generators and the nodes is that we decided to kind of go with this organizing principle of size and kind of like how scary they are. So Insidious would be something that's a little bit smaller, but maybe like annoying scary, versus, as we unlock more generators, you'll kind of see how it kind of ramps up a bit. And this first node that I'm gonna get is the Kobold. I don't know if anyone knows about the Kobold.
I
Also
mean,
kind of seen
if
in
you've
video games
played D&D,
sometimes.
you should know what
Yeah,
a kobold is.
yeah.
But this version's a
So
little different.
It's just a little different. So yeah, I feel like the kobold's represented in in D&D and some other types of games, but obviously comes from something. So this is kind of where that comes from. Uh, yeah, apparently it's a German household, little guy that performs chores, and if neglected, he inflicts misfortune on the homeowners, which is a funny little thing about him. And yeah, kind of as you play the event, you'll unlock more cryptids. So I'm gonna get this guy named the Bannock. And then I don't know if anyone knows what a kappa is, Japanese folklore. He's very interesting. And I don't know if you guys notice, but my bauble, which is my little profile, is the same as this kappa image. And you might be like, what the heck? How is that happening? That's because with this event, we added a new Logit prize. We actually added two, but I'll go over
What?
this one first. So we added a Cryptid icon pack where you can choose an icon for yourself that is maybe your favorite cryptid in the event. We don't have every cryptid in the event, but we tried to choose the most interesting and the coolest ones. So yeah, definitely purchase that once it comes out in the Logit store once the new update comes out.
Very
And then
nice.
there is also another Logit prize, which is the Bigfoot Logit prize. I don't want to give too much away, but you should purchase this and you should go into your land garden and see if you can spot this furry creature, and maybe something special will happen for you. That's all I'm going to say in regards to that, though. It's 100 Logits, so save up or start saving because it's probably my favorite Logit prize. And then yeah,
Yeah.
so I
There's
don't
an
know how much time
achievement
I
for
have
that one too,
left.
right? So
Yeah, say that again.
there's an achievement for that one?
So yeah, there is a secret achievement that comes along with that Logic Prize. So if you're a completionist, you got to get the Logic Prize to get that secret achievement. So definitely take a look out for that. Yeah, I think somebody before was talking about secret achievements, so new one coming out with this update. Emily, how am I on time? Should I
Uh,
stop showing?
if you want to show a little bit of uncanny, I think
Okay.
go ahead, do it now.
Yeah, so this uncanny generator, essentially, so we're ramping up from Insidious. So this is kind of creatures that resemble humans, or are kind of the same size as a human. So I unlock the canny. I get this little cutscene where it says knowledge unlocked, and then we get two creatures here. We get Baba Yaga. I don't know if anyone has heard of that. It's kind of an old lady that does some bad things.
I love Baba
Uh,
Yaga. I mean, I don't love her, but the tale is nostalgic for me. I'll say that.
Nice. Yeah, I actually hadn't heard of her until recently. I don't know if anyone has seen the movie Spirited Away, but the old lady in that's name is Baba Yaga, so that's kind of where I had heard of that name from. So I thought that was fascinating. Oh, and then we also have mermaids here. They're not these cutesy creatures that everyone thinks they are. Back in the day, they were used to explain some they were used to explain some pretty tough stuff from the sailor's perspective. So you'll have to read that tooltip and kind of learn some lore on mermaids. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna show now on the Cryptid event. It is a smaller event, so I don't give too much away. And make sure to play it. Like we said, the event is going live on the 17th and the 17th and the 28th. And yeah, you guys can see that on the calendar as they're coming into the event. So very excited for this event to come
Yeah, that
out.
first one's coming up soon, so make sure to mark your calendars. Thanks for sharing that, Sam. That was super
Yeah, of
fun.
course.
Cool. Yeah, Sam, I love the minis idea. Can you talk a little bit about the thinking of like why we wanted to try a mini format as opposed to the standard one?
Yeah, so just to get into that really quick, yeah, I think creating an event takes a long time, or at least there's a lot of like conversation that goes on and design that kind of needs to happen. And I think we wanted to try the mini to kind of shorten the timeline that it takes to create an event. Um, and I think we definitely saw a lot of that happening with this event. So since there's no garden, we don't have to add 3D models into the game. The tuning is super easy, and it's only going to be one currency. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So each mini will be one currency. So the tuning's super easy. Like one of our tuners can make this event the numbers in the background in like probably an hour or two. It's that easy. And then yeah, less nodes equals less art, so that's easier. And then writing is a lot easier because writing and doing table reads always takes a long time. So yeah, it's kind of just to lower the scope of an event, and then we'll try to kind of have these intertwine with the main events and have them in there. And also like nobody it's hard to make an event just on cryptids and have it be really big. So it kind of opens us up to have more events on maybe smaller ideas that people might be interested in that maybe we couldn't go too in depth in as a main event. So it's another reason why.
Cool. I love it.
Nice. And also, I don't know if we've mentioned this earlier, but this event in particular is so far slotted to only be available to play this October. So if you miss either of those 2 dates, we're sorry. We highly recommend you check them out on both the 17th and the 28th if you want to get the Cryptid badges.
It's a Halloween special.
Mm-hmm.
Only spooky season.
2 chances. Wow.
Spooky indeed. Speaking of spooky, I see there are some people asking about the Dodo ghosts. Don't worry, they're coming back too. They're going to be available to find in the simulation from October 15th to November 1st. So, and there are some new ones in there. Our developer Ryan added in some extra kind of difficult hiding spots, so good luck finding them.
Yeah. I mean, a lot's changed in the game, like especially with all the Civ stuff that we did in the last year or so. So we basically needed to change the positions for all or most of the dodos in the Civ Garden. So there's definitely a lot of new or updated stuff for you guys to find there.
Yeah, and if you struggle with finding them, there are a couple guides online already. So there are some people who would love to help you out.
Yeah, props to the fans who posted those guides in the Discord. I was impressed.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
they did it so fast.
Yeah. All of Ryan's hard work has been pulled apart in less than a week.
That's okay.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
Our fans should not be underestimated. All right, guys, and that brings us towards the end of the show. But before we go, we have another code for you. While I usually love to have you guys guess, we are running a little short on time, so I'm just going to roll right into it. The next code for 15 Darwinium is Baba Yaga. We love her. Slay Queen, I guess. But not literally. Okay. Enjoy 15 cubes. And we hope that you're looking forward to the Cryptid event. I know I'm looking forward to the Cryptid event. I know what I'm going to be doing on Halloween. Very excited. And for anyone who has any questions, please throw them at us.
Somebody said she definitely literally slays.
She definitely literally slays.
Go.
Which is unfortunate. I just like the chicken leg house. That's the part that made me happy as a kid.
She does have a house with chicken legs. I didn't know that until recently, actually.
I watched the Arthur special. I watched Arthur growing up as a kid, and there's a special about Baba Yaga. Like the kids are afraid of her, and they showed like the tree house with the legs, and I was like, whoa, it's so cool.
I had no idea.
Movie like a Babadook or something? Is that related?
Oh, that's something else. Yeah, the Babadook.
Sort of different, right? Okay.
Yeah, no Babadook in this event. All right, let's see. We have a couple questions. Yeah. Want to read them off, Emily?
Yeah, I have a question right here. Will you be updating the Garden past ancient civilization, like the Mars settlement? I think that's a John question.
Yeah. We're planning on it. I think like the game is kind of already pretty heavy. And we've been doing a lot of work to kind of optimize it and make sure it's not too big. So I think there's going to need to be a few things that we figure out before we can start adding new gardens into the game. So yeah, but it's definitely kind of in the plans. We have a lot of big plans for the main game, and updating the gardens is a part of it, but it's going to take us a little bit of time now that we've gotten the Beyond to a good place to kind of start laying all that groundwork. So yeah, it's coming. I just can't really give you too many specifics on one just yet.
For
great
anyone who
question.
wants to claim the code, you just click the hamburger menu in the top right-hand corner of your game. And then from there, you should be able to go into the Help tab and redeem code. Make sure it's all caps, no spaces.
90 Lunchbox asked if there's something I want to be added to the main game. I know something that I'm very excited about that we're adding to the main game, which is the idea of missions. I know you guys have seen the missions in the Beyond and in the Mesozoic, and we haven't really had missions in the main game, but we're actually going to be releasing tutorial missions with the upcoming release for new players. And then I think eventually the thinking is we might extend that out deeper into the game so you can actually complete missions as you play the main game. Exactly what that looks like is still kind of in the design phase, but it's definitely something that I'm personally excited about.
Yeah, that's exciting. You haven't really been able to talk about it too much, but for players' first runs, they'll be able to see those missions. It's very exciting. Let's see, they asked us all if what we wanted in the main game. I just want the main game to take like 5 years to be. That's my wish, to be added to the main game.
Yeah.
We got some good questions here. What are our favorite dinosaurs in the Mesozoic Valley?
Oh gosh.
Does anyone have a favorite? They're all good.
I like the plesiosaur. Well, the players.
Oh, Jeff.
Right? Jeff, right?
Yeah.
I like Jeff.
One of our fans has dubbed the plesiosaur Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Nice.
Archie's cool, but I think Jeff is cooler.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I think mine's probably T-Rex.
My favorite is Compsognathus because of that duck face. It's just too cute.
Yeah. They look pretty derpy. I like the Stegosauruses. They have like a cool walk. They kind of look like they're trotting. Yeah.
Their heads are bopping.
Yeah. So we got a good question here, and then might have time for one more question for the devs. Do you consider using a clicking macro cheating? I think they're saying an auto clicker. My response to that is play the way you want to play. We will not. Our system will not detect you as like a cheater if you are playing the way you want to play.
Don't time skip though.
Yeah.
Don't time skip. That's not a part of the game, so don't do that. But yeah, you can. Listen, I don't want anyone getting carpal tunnel. When I'm testing, I'll use one so I don't have to click. So maybe don't go crazy with it, but can't stop you from going doing your own thing. We do actually limit the clicks, so you might notice you're not getting as much production as you think you would if you're using one of those. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we used to like care basically not at all. Now that the events and like the leaderboards are like so popular, it's like a little bit more of a thing, but I think it's still fine. I mean, yeah.
All right. I wish we could answer more questions, but I think we're out of time. We're a little over. So thanks everyone for joining us for this special Halloween extravaganza.
Yep, thanks everyone.
For anyone who's missed it, our codes are Event Horizon and Baba Yaga for 15 each. So enjoy the Darwinium. Don't spend it all in one place. All right.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us, John and Sam. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Right. Bye. Stay cellular, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. Woo.